She's here. Oh, okay, cool. Just came in. All right. What are you doing today? Oh, did he? That's what.
Show up before we get too far down the road.
He's a club.
Through. Can't even see that. I said, you're just back up. I said, if you really want to tear it up, I said, then put you in the cell. Come on, if you're gonna. She got a blank look at me. I said, this is all about all in or nothing. I said, you don't want to have that.
That's a shirt. Is
that right?
96.
I know a guy with an excavator too.
Oh, and by the way, just so you guys know, we sent donuts to the police department.
I figured you'd appreciate that.
Officer appreciation.
You brought the car up.
I want to fish.
You have to bring it up.
I had the donut shop to the donuts.
Bring a bolt down.
I would say from the mayor and council.
I know. You have to mark.
I couldn't remember. I never.
I didn't have that on the bingo card.
Came out.
I was in the same thing. I was a little bit hectic in the last minute of trying to get it
Yeah,
done.
except mine.
Yeah, that's like, it's really hot and that's.
So just so you guys know, last year, you're unlocked, thank you. We were just like, why didn't you just take a K-12? So I just called the workshop and said, show me 3 deserts, send them. Oh, it's too
Stereotyping there.
maybe a little bit.
Where did you end up going? I simply.
Stereotyping, that's a good word.
Profiling and TV
I
stereotyping.
might not have purposely did that, you know, I mean,
2 more minutes technically to, if you can.
I guess mine's not gonna load the minutes or the agenda. It's just gonna stay stuck in this Microsoft.
She's doing pretty good.
Sorry.
Do you like using it?
Being an hour.
No. As a matter of fact, right at the moment I don't like it.
And then.
I haven't made that a choice.
Scary fashion here.
Well, I'm waiting. The Frontier's giving us all. We got on the old. So
Yeah.
we're supposed to get all
So
the new
now
ones
I-
in the next couple months.
Okay.
Then I'll have
So now
Then I'll.
I'm gonna reopen it. It comes with-
But now we have.
I don't know, was Carrie Ashenhurst gonna come, Tabitha? Is Carrie Ashenhurst gonna come, or do you know?
I don't know if she's supposed to.
Okay.
Trisha was taking care of.
I'm assuming they can do something like that on Android.
Yeah, and we don't even have Tricia here to give a hard time to. You're not here to defend yourself.
So, she said that she wanted it. That's Carrie's deal. That's a hard board. We're good, you can hear? 1 minute, Brandon.
There it is.
All right. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
please take roll.
Councilman Evans?
Here.
Councilman Mixon?
Here.
Councilman Kaufman?
Here.
Councilman Perkins?
Here.
And Mayor Graves.
Here. You have before you an agenda that's going to have a couple of amendments to it before I call the question. Under section E, update item number 2, from PCED to just, reflect Senator, Love, please. And then under G, number 7, noon whistle. And that is my amendments to the agenda. Would entertain a motion to approve amended agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion will carry. We are into the appointment section of the agenda. For the lodging tax board, I would ask for confirmation of the council to place Carrie Ashenhurst on the lodging tax board. Had some good discussion. Kelly was serving in an interim capacity, or Councilman Mixon, excuse me, was serving in an interim capacity, and Carrie came forth and asked to be put on that board. Had some good conversation with Kelly about it, and we were in agreement, and so I put the question out there. I thought maybe she'd be here tonight, but Tresha Casino was gonna bring her with her, and where Tresha's not here, maybe the message got dropped, so. But she has asked to be placed there, and so I'd ask that we confirm her to the lodging tax board.
I move that we put Carrie Ashenhurst in our slot for the lodging tax board for the town of Wheeling.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Then we need to make an appointment to the Wampa board because Candy is resigning from the Wampa board appointment. And I made a phone call to Rosemary, visited with her about the multitude of options there are to place on that board. And Rosemary told me that she felt like the clerk treasurer aspect that Candy provided on that board was excellent, and that Candy was the first and only clerk treasurer she's had on the board. So she asked me if Tabitha would be in agreement to bring Tabitha forward as that appointment. So I would ask for council confirmation to put Tabitha, who was a semi-willing recipient, because, you know, she said something like her plate's pretty full, but
Pretty left it open.
But she said that she would love the learning opportunity and be able to apply some of the schooling that she's, you know, used, and so she was willing. I had to give her a little grief, but
So moved.
Second.
all in favor of that signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And you have in front of you your consent agenda electronically. For the purpose of discussion, I would entertain a motion to approve and place to record the consent agenda items.
So moved.
Second.
Is there discussion? The only thing I was gonna make mention of is on the cash summary report, we're at 42% of the year elapsed, and when you go to that line item for capital projects and it's running at 1,122%, that just looks daunting, but the explanation is in 16th Street, and so, I mean, no explanation needed other than, wow, just a
Very eye-catching
Yeah,
on your first
just,
opening this packet.
The other discussion item that maybe warrants, just to make sure we're all up to speed and on the same page, is the land acquisition for the landfill. It's kind of put on hold because the seller has some issues they've got to work through first before, still a willing party, but they have to satisfy some things on their end
Be alone.
before they can sell to us, so. So I guess it's not lost or gone, it's just backburnered until the seller can get
Through
clear
his
title.
years too.
I think honestly, once that's obtained, it's a done deal because I think the other agreements are in place and
I don't know if he signed it. I did talk to Dean last week and he said they're just waiting for the buyer to get everything, the seller to get everything solved. Because I've been calling about once a week, every so often, just to see. And it's been the same answer, so it must be slow moving. And I understand what he's trying to do, it'll be slow moving.
You know, the federal government works.
Yep. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion on the consent agenda items? Hearing none, all in favor of placing the record, the consent agenda, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. Moving on to petitions, memorials, and proclamations. Public comment section. Item number 1 is Mr. Ruard here with the Wheatland Car Show people. The floor is yours.
Good evening, guys. I'm Kevin McBride, President of Wheatland Car Show. So I'd like to express our thanks for supporting us in our endeavors. This year, we hope to do it again with your approval. And I'll make the same commitment as last year. We promised $1,000 into the Fireman's Fund. If we exceed that, good for us, good for you. But I can only start at the start. Bob is going to talk to you about some other issues that we want, so I'm going to let him speak more than me. But thank you again for supporting us.
So actually this year, it's June 26th and June 27th. Friday night at the park. In fact, again, if we can arrange the park. That was a great place to have the start of our car show.
Yes, it was.
It worked out really nice, and I think everybody that was there really enjoyed the evening. So we'd like to set that date for the park if we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Just go
I
ahead.
have it
and-
written down.
Already done in
All right.
principle.
Yep, and then Saturday is the car show, in fact, in downtown Wheatland. In fact, the fire department is going to be involved again this year. We have chose them as the folks that are going to benefit from the car show again this year. So we're wanting to do it the exact same way as last year and just try to build on it from this last year. In fact, I know that there was an issue with the porta potties last year, and we sincerely apologize for that. It took them forever to come pick them up, but we'll make sure that doesn't happen again this year.
So of course, we're going to ask for more.
We'll put him out on Bob Ruart Motors lot.
No more dirt track out
Yeah.
there, so guess what?
But last year we had
146 registrants.
about 146 cars. The weather was beautiful. It was hot. Yep, we had food truck vendors. It seemed like everything worked out really well. So,
Yeah, it was a great venue.
yeah.
I mean,
So if there's anything out there that you're able to tell us tonight that we're able to improve on, in fact, let us. But I think it turned out really well. And yeah. In fact,
We did
just
give
thank
away
you.
almost 100 cases of water for free just because it was so hot out.
Yep, and then, in fact, Jeff is here tonight with the fire department, and, in fact, we were able to give the fire department, in fact, a $5,000 check, in fact, from the proceeds of the car show. And, I'd just like to have Jeff mention on what he was able to do with the funds, so that you folks know.
One quick question.
yes,
Do we have more trash cans?
absolutely.
Sure, we can make that happen.
We can make that happen.
We were filling them up pretty quickly, so.
No, the fire department, we're very gracious to have the donation. We had some of our volunteers assisted on Friday night and Saturday. Friday night, for this year, we've been asked to help with some of the parking, ease up some of that a little bit, if we're able to go forward. But help out with the parking and maybe change that around a little bit and dedicate the park, the paved part of the park, for the registrants' cars, and then just have maybe the general public. Looking to hopefully make it more of a family affair down there on Friday night too, working with some different folks. The turnout was amazing last year as far as, it wasn't just a car show event, it ended up being a community event. So the fire department will be involved in that Friday night. Saturday, we're involved with, getting the streets all blocked off at the start of the show. With the proceeds that we had from last year's car show, we purchased some firefighter rehab equipment. They're misting ventilation fans, not just like the little ones that have a garden hose, but ones that we can use not only on fire scenes, but then we talked about the need for setting up a cooling tent for the car show next year, and then talked to Chief Degelman. So we've got a department tent that we can use, and just we'll set up a cooling station and maybe work with Banner hopefully, and as far as getting maybe a first aid station set up with that as well. We're also able to purchase some personal PPE equipment for members that we're able to give to them as well, and then the remainder of the proceeds and put in a CD for future savings and equipment and stuff like that. But we're very thankful to have that donation from the car show, and we look forward to helping them for 2026 as well.
Thank you. I was gonna ask you one more, right?
Yeah, can we do it again?
Yeah.
You are gonna get zero argument from me,
Right.
but I'm a gearhead, so I love attending those events, and I really like how you guys integrated the food truck ideas and brought some different options to town to walk around, and yeah, it was hot, and I probably drank some free water, and I appreciate that. And we'll do a better job about making sure we got receptacles to get rid of the free water bottles.
We filled up a couple.
But anyways, if there's anything that we're able to approve on that you notice, in fact, please let us know. So, but yeah, we want to try to build this to be a really nice.
And anything out of bounds, we need to know about right away.
Yeah. If there's anything that. So, just a question for you, Tabitha. So what? In fact, what is the deposit fee this year? Or has it changed since last year? Okay.
It'll still be $100.
Okay, very good. I think that's all that I have. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
And do we need an official word there? I mean, everybody's in favor of moving forward to support them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I've never heard anything negative, so.
I think Jeff brought some really good ideas with the med tent and having a
Yes.
cooling tent as well. I think that's some, phenomenal changes. So thank you for looking into that.
Yeah, no, well, Town of Wheatland pledges to support and the accoutrements needed to pull it off, and let us know if you need something else. We'll be glad to help and support. Because I think you said it best when you said it went from a car show to a community event. Well, let's continue with that motive in mind and make it even bigger and better, and the community event idea.
One last thing before you say yes or no. Lon Lack from Pizza Ranch in Casper brought down 50 pizzas and gave away pieces of pizza all night. The local bank supported us with 300 hot dogs that they gave away Friday night. So yes, we would like this to be a wonderful community event for you, because the next day is when all the people from out of town show up.
Yep.
So we would like to do that again, and maybe even enhance that some.
Yeah, the Friday night was definitely more the local community members,
Yes.
and then Saturday was the people wanting to show their rides. So
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I mean, you'll get no argument from me. You'll just get support.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Bob. We get to do it again.
All right. All right, thank you, Tabitha.
You're welcome.
Item number 2 on the agenda is Taft Love is here. And your front person, she bailed out on you, so the floor's all yours.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman, thank you very much for having me this evening. I really just wanted to show up and listen to the town meeting and see what the concerns are or what's going on with the town and any way we can be supportive. We're coming up on the session here. We'll start on February the 9th. I did talk to the JAC representative and chairman, and he has mentioned we're going to work on making direct distribution permanent for communities and municipalities. So that'll be a positive. One thing that I think is going to be a little bit of a change up is currently the governor is recommending going to pre-COVID level funding for municipalities and direct distribution. So instead of the 73 roughly $1 million that we were putting out for all the communities, it's going to be 52.5 this year. So that would be a little bit of a reduction from what you've been receiving, but we are looking at making it permanent so it's not so up in the air. So that's a positive. We did get the Craig report here in the last couple days. I was reviewing it just a little bit today. Kind of a net positive. From what our fall report was, our investment accounts are up about $10 million in the general fund. That's going to help us there. We have another $6.2 million going into the school fund, and so that'll be good as well. So all in all, very positive. We're hearing a lot about healthcare, wondering if it's appropriate in a budget session to go ahead, as it's becoming more and more emergent for our citizens to look at another option for health insurance. We're hearing people talk about double, triple, and quadruple healthcare or health insurance costs. And so looking at ways to help resolve that. We have some water bills going on that'll be beneficial for agriculture and communities both. I've been part of the Colorado River meetings and everything we have going on that side. That doesn't affect Platte County near as much as it does Cheyenne. But that's a really big negotiation going on for the state of Wyoming, and I think we've got the right people at the helm for that right now. It seems to be going in a good direction. I was appointed to the NCSL, so National Conference of State Legislators, and they appointed me. So Bo Beitman, President Beitman, appointed me to the Ag Committee or Ag Task Force for that. So I meet now twice a year nationwide with all the other senators and legislators for each state regarding ag issues. So there is a bill coming up this session that we'll be running that deals with the glyphosate issues that we've had, and probably the town uses Roundup from time to time in different projects. There's lawsuits being filed in almost all 50 states right now against Bayer Monsantos and the Roundup product for different side effects and whatnot. In that, though, it's the main cause is the labeling and the product consistency. We as a state don't have an EPA or a USDA branch that can monitor and safely say the labeling and the product match. That's better suited for the EPA and USDA. So the bill that's coming that I'm sponsoring is solely to deal with the fact that we need to allow that to all happen in federal jurisdiction, and Wyoming remains sovereign in its ability to distribute, sell, and dictate those needs in the state of Wyoming. I got to meet with the White House administration while I was in DC for the NCSL event. That was very exciting. There are a lot of positive things happening. And President Trump and those folks are very, very fond of the state of Wyoming and all that Wyoming has going on. So we had another big win this week in the coal industry when they didn't shut down the Colorado coal plant. And so that's positive. We have a lot of good things going on, even with Basin Electric coming up. So I see a lot of exciting things on the horizon. So a lot to look forward to. So if there's anything you have for me, if there's any questions you have of me, I'd be glad to answer them. I'm still just trying to get my feet on the ground and keep climbing. So.
It's a big feat to get your feet under, huh?
It is. Sure.
I understand, trust me. I'm still learning.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Is there any other public comment at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on to unfinished business item number 1. You'll see in your packets there that Nathan Willitson had made a claim for a garbage can being, a town of Wheatland owned garbage can being blown into his car and causing some damage. Of course, the LGLP denied the claim. And there's no denying that it is definitely our trash can, and it is our trash can that does have the angle iron bracing on it for the extra wind protection. But yet the wind still moved the can and did cause damage, so, what is the will of the council at this time? Maybe I should say, traditionally when this has happened and we know we are at fault, what previous councils have done, is offer to meet the deductible for the repair of the vehicle, so there's no cash out of pocket to the vehicle owner. And I don't know what that deductible is or what you guys are open to, but that's kind of maybe how we've handled this in the past.
I support the whole deductible thing as long as it's not going to, you know, in this day and age, I know with insurances, I just went through this with windows. You know, the act of nature caused the incident. Technically, our piece of equipment hit their equipment. If it's going to long-term affect them, however, by filing their insurance, I mean, that's something we also need to consider, I think.
Sure. Yeah, you're not wrong there.
point.
So maybe, can you speak to?
Absolutely.
Nathan,
I sure can.
like what your deductible is and kind of where you're at and what your end game is and.
So my deductible for my insurance is $500. The only issue that I was seeing with you guys, which I greatly appreciate you guys being willing to pay for that, I was in an accident, I would say it was in March of last year with a vehicle. I was not at fault, but my insurance tried to total my vehicle out. It is a vehicle I use for work on a daily basis. I put about 30,000 miles on it just for work in this past year. So if I could try to not total it out, that would be great. Instead of trying to find a new vehicle, I mean.
Understood.
Yeah. But whatever help you guys can do is appreciated.
If they total it out, will they let you buy it back? Have you asked them that?
So when they were trying to, on the previous crash, which I was found not at fault at, they were trying to take it from me. They wouldn't let me buy it back. They said I would have to speak with the bank about that.
Oh, you must have a lease on it? Is that
I
what
do.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
You still could pay on
And paying for a car you don't even have, kind of, yeah. What's the lowest?
And I do have some estimates and pictures.
They included
Yeah.
the packet.
Yeah.
Pictures and-
We're included here.
That's what we're looking at right now is,
It's like Kindle,
what you throwing out.
3,500. I like KBs.
That's like 3,500. Yeah.
That's the lowest one.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Because one, it is our trash can, dumpster, if you will. So the steel legs try to prevent the flying across the parking lot, but 100-mile-an-hour winds up here tend to bypass the mechanics sometimes. I'm saying we go for $3,500. And that's the low end of your quotes.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm trying to be realistic and also wise about what we're doing here, and it is the public's money.
Absolutely.
And I think that, I would agree with your thought process there. As the town of Wheatland, we need to be addressing these exact, we've had these issues forever.
Yep.
We need to get rid of the way that we are dealing with these issues when it comes to the cans. If this is we touched the stove and burnt our fingers tonight, and now we need to go take care of some business, I'm all for that.
The particular can that got loose, that did have the feet on it, that set of cans, remediation's already happened.
Okay.
That we, I mean, but the feet that were put on them have not been a problem for the last 4 or 5 years until this last round of wind.
Absolutely.
So I mean,
Absolutely.
and that was my argument with the LGLP. I mean, I feel like we tried to remediate with our added-on legs, and we were reasonable and prudent in designing and doing this, and they still just, I mean, the LGLP had none of it, said nope.
Right.
So, yeah, I make a motion, we give him the $3,500 towards the repair of his vehicle.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry.
It's gonna take a little bit out of your pocket, but it's not gonna get.
That's perfect. Thank you, council.
Unfinished business, item number 2 is the pole attachment agreement with Visionary Communications. I see somebody wearing a Visionary coat, so I assume you want to speak to this?
I can just briefly.
Sure.
I'm Kyle Farley with the Visionary Communications. I'm a Director of Regulatory Affairs. Helped draft the agreement with Preston. And I think our big change to the agreement previously was a 2-year agreement, so we're looking to move to a 5-year agreement. There was an increase in the pole attachment fee, 20% from, we were at $10, we're moving to 12. It looks like Visionary's acceptable to that. Aside from that, no big issues in that. Happy to continue to work with you guys, and happy to answer any questions you might have on that, and any questions around it. So, thank you. Thanks for letting me join tonight.
So I was asked to have representatives show up to maybe just further in discussion from the underground boring we've had with Visionary and the recent project, to kind of open up the discussion to that and why we made a few of the changes that we did in this overhead agreement. Of course, this is an overhead agreement, doesn't really affect a boring project, but it's a step in the right direction to get some of the stuff we want secured in these agreements there now. And that's by adding kind of an application procedure in the back, a form that we want to see, questions we want answered before we're allowing a permit for the work. So I was told you guys have had your phones off the hook a little bit about the neighborhood that's probably on a little unrest from when we bored through there. So we brought Kyle in here so we could have some of that discussion about things you guys like to see or would like to see in this. And I can show any of the changes from a previous agreement of that, if you'd like me to. There's not a lot of change in there.
There is one, and I looked at it, and I told Preston, and.
I think Tabitha emailed out the changes that Preston.
Right, but then I needed one that, so we understand this is not an exclusive pole agreement or license. Other companies can attach, and I talked to Preston, there may come a time there's no rooms. I think we had this discussion, it was real close on a couple in the downtown area that we didn't have much room on those poles and where they were gonna be because of just the traffic that goes through some of those areas sometimes. We can't even let them go down as low, and that's what Preston wants to avoid in the application. He'll be able to know exactly where they're going and try to address it.
And typically, I think we've kind of been covered just on getting an application, to work in town, to get permitted to work in town. That rolls out to us. We hear about it. In this instance, we really didn't get the chance to review plans and see this project ahead of time. This allows us now by paperwork to see that in a overhead project, not necessarily an underground one, but it's a step in the right direction here to review these kind of things between electric department head, of course, who's controlling the poles, clerk, who's going to be, watching these projects go through town, and get some questions answered just before it starts, before we allow it to. Sure. Which is probably some stuff we should look at doing in maybe the franchise agreement, or, maybe in our policies before we permit them, to cover it on every end, if we want to kind of help the residents on what's going to happen in their front yard. Cause we're gonna be getting fiber all the way through town. That's what's gonna replace stuff, you know. It's gonna happen. How do we wanna see it happen? How the residents wanna see it happen? Can't really answer when, but we know it's coming down the ladder a little quicker every day.
Look at me snickering. We had a previous discussion about things going forward in different avenues, so it wasn't anything you said, but as a department head, do you feel this is the best solution you have right now and
Yeah.
the direction you want to go in?
Yeah, well, this gives us a good chance to review this stuff and just make sure, you know, well, the poles are safe, the road crossings are safe. Gives us a chance to kind of let the neighborhood know, hey, this is gonna be happening.
Is this giving you everything you need to run your department safely, though?
Something I would ask, some of the complaints that I received were they didn't know where they were gonna be putting stuff on easements, they didn't know what they were gonna be putting where, you know, all kinds of things like that. They were never notified as far as, hey, we're gonna put this on this, you know, whatever. Now, I'm not saying, I'm listening to 100% of what they're saying, I'm telling you what complaints were brought to me, okay? And I know that it wasn't just a single event, wasn't just a single occupant of the land or the owner of the land that came to me with the same complaint. So I think those are just, you know, throwing them out for you guys as we go forward with things like this, making sure that we are being very transparent and talking to our people.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'd like to see. And then this covers it in one avenue.
This covers only the pole agreement, doesn't
Yeah.
cover
Yeah.
the boring.
Mhm.
I would assume
And-
common sense would tell visionary, you should be knocking on doors and say, here's what we're gonna do, and this is
Right.
when we're gonna do it. But that's, you know,
Well, one of the important, I'll make a note, I think that's our goal, and that's why I wanted to be here. tonight.
obviously it didn't happen this time, is what I think Councilman Evans
Yeah,
is saying.
and I wanted to make a note, I think a lot of our work, we have contractors that do a lot of the work too. We can do a better job of communicating that with our contractors, and that's the note I wanted to make, is I think we have a responsibility to communicate that to our contractors when they're doing that. So hearing this feedback, I can take it back to our team, I'll share that with them, and we can do a better job of, you know, when we're coming in to construct,
Right,
allowing those residents to know, here's kind of the timeline,
right,
here's what we're gonna be doing.
Right.
You get some
Right.
of that, and I know we've had issues with that with contractors across the state and other states that we work in, and so it's a big piece I just wanted tonight to share with that.
Advanced communication saves a lot of bleeding ears.
yeah.
No, and
Getting the word out there prevents us from,
I appreciate you getting the take-home message there and acknowledging it. I really appreciate that because there's been some tough conversations, but, we're not in the business of telling you can't upgrade your communications.
Nor do we
By
want
no
that.
means, nor do we want that. But we've gotta be good stewards and neighborly and work with each other to make it successful, so.
And it's a very good thing to have come to town, have fiber optic everywhere. This is gonna be really big for us and our residents.
Yep.
So, you know, this is just a step in the right direction with overhead work. So we can keep them in town, getting that stuff done, but maybe a little bit of foreshadowing on what we should do in our franchise agreement to protect this everywhere.
Yep. No,
And this is the first time we really worked hand in hand on a good sized project with Visionary in town, so these kind of hiccups are gonna happen. And we get to meet here and, you know, resolve it before we keep going. So I appreciate it.
are you bringing any of this to the planning and zoning about the progression of the town and growth in different areas, like a expanded residential area where you want to have the fiber heading towards there? Are you looking at those aspects as well?
Not so much,
Like I'm saying,
I'm
is you guys
expecting them
start
to come
running
to us
them.
a little bit about, you know, they know in the broader spectrum, things that are planned a little further out than we do.
Right.
And haven't really brought much of that to the table to us.
Just kind of throwing some things out there for future.
We hear a little more rumor than fact
Yeah.
about what's gonna happen, till it's a little closer to.
Right.
Uh,
Sure. Also the visionary guys, just to have that plan in their heads of,
Yeah,
if
you
we're
know,
pushing in these areas, we might want to have something that's going to be heading in that direction.
And I think we're always open to those conversations, primarily when we come in and we're having a conversation around current construction where we wanna build.
Right.
Oftentimes, council members will say, well, have you thought about this neighborhood? We have something going on over here too, how do we help align some of those? And that's a conversation we wanna be a part of and walk with you through it. And
Right.
in the situations we've had that, we've been very successful and been able to work with that, so, no, we're all for that. open communication.
And do you know the fire chief does not want fiber to his house?
I'm already signed up for it. Too late.
Put him at the bottom of the list. Bottom of the list, or the back burner for
I already
you.
got a work order in.
I had to get my dig in for
I
you.
can show you the dance I did.
No, I appreciate that, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Need a motion here?
Yeah, and just approve the, full attachment agreement with that indication that it's a non-exclusive full agreement / license.
I'll make a motion to approve the pole attachment agreement with Visionary Communications Incorporated. And it's,
Non-exclusive.
that's not exclusive. That's how you want it.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. New business item number 1 is Resolution 01-2026. And it is adopting the building permit fee schedule for 2026. You have that resolution in front of you, and they are so aptly named, 01-2026. We're pretty clever that way.
Cleaver.
The fees didn't change from last year.
No, just a continuation, basically.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 01-2026, adopting building permit fee schedule for 2026.
And second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And you're gonna get tired of these, but resolution 02-2026, which is adopting a records request fee schedule for 2026, which does have some changes, I believe, and I'll let Tabitha speak to those changes.
Okay, so the only thing we really changed on this was, the electronic records. We did per gigabyte storage, that way, you know, if they're getting lots of like body cam footage and stuff like that, we're making sure that they're paying for their USB drives or whatever, or CDs. And then we also added a total line item for body cams. That way, whenever the officers are going through it and everything like that, you have to redact a lot of stuff and everything. So me and Brad worked on that, and we kind of seen what other communities were doing. We went with that, so.
I'll be honest, I would look at it again before the end of the year. Records request, they're entitled to it, but they are out of hand. You can't imagine how much time everybody is spending on this.
Trust me.
And then they don't pick them up.
And then they don't pick them up,
Yeah.
and it's constant. You just,
They make the request and then they hear the price tag and don't pick it up.
and it's just, and some of the stuff they could go and get themselves. I mean, they don't even have to get it, but the senators here, state legislature needs to figure this one out, because it's burdensome on all of the public entities.
Well, and we only give us 10 days, I think that's what they're looking at.
Yeah, that's insanity. I'll be real honest with you. 30 days is not out of line with some of the requests we get. I don't have a problem telling them 7 days, we've got your request, we're working on it and stuff, and we get them out as fast as we can. If we can get them out in 3 days, we get them out in 3 days. But I know,
Some of them are some of them are tough to do in 10 days
yes,
though.
they are.
This is the price.
Especially when they say, when you start getting police officers and cell phones and everything that everybody has to look at.
And redact and spend
Yes.
time with.
I think they're one.
You wanna speak to this? I seen you kinda give a half-hearted, maybe I'll say something.
Mr. Mayor, through you, if there's something specific you would like for me to dig into, I sure can. Last week with the county commissioners meeting here, I did call the Attorney General and talk to him for a while. I think there are plenty of things we need to address, and there are some things that are subject to FOIA or public request, and there are some things that are not. And I'm hearing talk of emails being requested and text messages being requested, and some of those are beyond the normal public information request. And so some offices have also started to charge for some of that. And so the AG's office would be a great resource for helping draw that line.
Would you like to table this, or you wanna?
I think you need to pass it.
No,
I just wanted you to be aware, you're gonna have to address it again, and
Well, engage maybe how many requests we get, but
Right.
that's, the tough one was with the body cam footage.
Oh.
I mean, the price association, I mean, we had some arbitrary number up there, and then we were providing like a USB, and pretty soon the cost association is far exceeding what,
Right.
you know, and then on some level, you're using public funds to fulfill a budget or a request for somebody that may use it to be going against you, and you're the guy that, so I mean, we were trying to get it at least on par to be solvent and not cost money. But we don't wanna, you know, make money either. I mean, in some cases you do, some cases you're behind, but we were trying to come up with numbers that were sufficient to at least make it a net zero.
Yeah, it's a service.
But
Still.
if we have a whole bunch of requests, this could not be bolstered enough to support it.
But I wanna consider one thing. One, we don't want them to bring a USB drive in because of cyber warfare and any worms or anything else in their thumb drives.
We provide them.
Correct. And that's what I'm saying is, do we wanna include the price of those into?
They are.
And that's where we make sure that whatever they're gonna ask for, we charge them for that.
Yeah, it's laid out right
Yeah,
there.
Because we don't
put
wanna
it-
have,
We put the cost of it in
Yeah.
there, and then we even put some governmental fat in it for the time spent of redacting and
Yeah.
cutting the
manpower,
times and-
hours.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
and part of the staff, it says $15 an hour. Like if Brad's staff has to do that, or he has to look at body cams, because as you know, I'm the county attorney, Brad has to look at them, then we have to make a decision. And Brad's time's worth more than $15 an hour, because it takes him away from his job or somebody officer's job. And so as a practical matter, and then what we end up doing is sometimes we don't let it out anyway, because we're in an investigation.
Yeah.
And
So
so,
it's still criminal proceedings, yeah.
yeah, and so this is a problem, and it's not just the town of Wheatland, it's everybody, it's every public entity's
Do we put
problem.
the hourly charge as subjective based upon who's doing it?
We put
You have $15, and
per half hour.
per half hour, it's $30 an hour, but when you start thinking about it, I think Torrington breaks it down to benefits and everything, they have it broken down, we pay this insurance, so here's how we broke it down per hour. I mean, it gets real complicated, but
I'm not
I
opposed
just-
to that.
I'm just telling you, I would look at it at the end of the year a little, I mean, as we go along, because the requests are getting,
Maybe review it again at budget time and
Yeah,
adjust
because
it.
they're
I
getting
think
more
that's a good
burdensome.
idea. Give us a little bit of data of what we see between now and then and
Right.
see what are we
If this
doing.
changes anything,
And can we reach out to Torrington and see what kind of pay scale they're
I
running with?
think
That's a
she
good
did.
point.
I think Tabitha did.
Okay,
You
yeah,
see
that
the
would-
way it's broken down, they have it really broken down.
Yeah. There
This
was
is a little
4
complicated.
or 5 member towns or other
Yeah.
towns like
Yeah.
size that we reached out to
Okay.
kind of get to this point.
all right, well, here's your motion then. Make a motion to approve resolution number 02-2026, adopting records request fee schedule for 2026.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. Moving on to resolution 03-2026, which is a resolution for animal licensing and impoundment fee schedules for 2026.
I think we talked about this a couple meetings ago, correct?
Yep.
I would move that we adopt resolution 03-2026, adopting animal licensing and impound fee schedule for the year 2026, as
Second.
written.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Of course, change order number 001 for the Black Mountain Water Storage Tank.
So that's in the positive of $62,000.
I was just gonna say,
That's
and
what
I
that
want
means.
to
Okay.
note that this is giving money back,
Yeah,
which
so the parentheses.
doesn't
gotta
have
cover.
I was reading it and I was like,
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm seeing. There's not more to this.
Jason was at the corner.
Yeah, a little bit. Little tight chested over here, yeah.
I don't think change order number 2 is gonna be as nice to us, but yeah.
But you know, if we win 50% there, we'll take a good one versus that one, right?
Mhm. I mean, that's a pretty nice one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Make a motion to approve change order 001 on Black Mountain Water Storage Tank.
Gladly second.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. We'll try not to spend it all in one place.
Save it.
Hang on to it
Change
until that
order
next
number
change
2.
order comes in.
We have a couple of more house cleaning items here. We need to make an approval of the official bank depositories for the town of Wheatland. The list being First State Bank, Rolling Hills Bank, and Platte Valley Bank. That way we patronize all of the major banks in town, so, would ask for a motion to approve those as our bank depositories.
So moved.
And second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion will approve. Also, we need to have a approval or a motion for the approval of the newspaper of record being our one and only newspaper, the Platte County Record Times.
That is now back. Yeah.
Quite thin, but yes, seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And now the one I've been waiting for.
I'm anxious to hear the background on this
Well,
one. Yeah.
I got to thinking, and maybe it's nostalgia kicking in, because I've been involved publicly for a long, long time, and I actually was on the council when they discontinued the noon whistle. And I have thought to myself numerous times, why should we not bring the noon whistle back?
Right.
I enjoyed the noon whistle. As a kid growing up in this town, the noon whistle signified you better get your butt home because mom had lunch ready for you and you got to check in. And that was long before the days of cell phones. So a common theme when you talk to people around the town is, you know, the days gone by were good old days. So why not bring back a bit of nostalgia? I did the legwork. I talked to the new county emergency management, town emergency management guy, which is Jamie Ritz. And Jamie said the programming would be simple, but he needed something from me that said that I had the support of the clerk treasurer and the council before he would program that in. It would be Monday through Saturday at noon. The tones would go off. If you lived here as a kid like you did, I mean, it would be a nostalgic thing. It would. I just think we ought to bring back a new whistle.
I'm gonna wrap the positive safety side of this into here. You guys knew safety was coming out tonight. To me, that's testing that siren anyway.
Yes, exactly.
That's also another way of people knowing what's going on, those kind of things. I like that idea. I've always liked that idea. I get approached about this idea a million times a year. So
I'm not just putting a damper on it, but I think when Homeland Security funded that, I think there was a provision that said we couldn't have the noon whistle. I don't care. I liked the noon whistle too, but I'm just telling you, I thought there was something in that, and I'm going way back in my memory. There was something.
that's a big memory.
Not very good.
And way back there.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Let 'em come
But I
and
thought
take
there
it.
was a provision in that when they gave us that money, granted that money, that we couldn't do that. Because I know I brought it up because I'm like you.
We can't test our emergency system once a day?
How about we modify this to test the emergency system at noon?
Probably not.
6 days a week.
So can we?
I don't care, but
But
I'm
if it
just,
fails, then we're all in trouble.
Can we
Exactly.
approve this,
I'll play your game.
like, given, I don't know, given approval from Homeland Security? Or are we even gonna ask?
that's up to you guys. I'm just telling you, way back in my mind, I thought there was
Right.
something.
You can always tell us no in a few years.
I know it's a cotton town.
senator doesn't find out.
Right.
Even on the cotton town, we had the noon whistle still.
Yeah, it's what?
And my wife still
08?
beats me up.
08 or something maybe?
9 or 10.
Eight,
It was 9 or 10.
9,
It's been a
somewhere in
while.
It's been a long
Even
time.
my wife still beats me up with that noon whistle. And you know what? Here's my take on it. sometimes it's just easier to ask forgiveness.
Yep, I agree. And-
We're all new council, he's not here.
Well, like I said, I did the legwork. I asked the questions and I talked to the people involved and talked to the county, and I mean, I met no resistance. Everybody was pretty agreeable. They thought it was kind of a neat idea to reinstate the noon whistle.
I make a motion, we bring back the noon whistle Monday through Saturday at 12 o'clock.
Second.
Second.
All of them, they couldn't third, and they stumbled over each other.
All right, all in favor of the noon whistle signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion will carry. And with no further business on the agenda, the only thing I would call to attention is February 9th will be the next regularly scheduled council meeting at 7 o'clock right here. And with that, we're adjourned.
You know, if you do that, you need to publicize it before you start.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I told Tabitha.